Oh, okay. Light is on, so we are on the air. Right. Okay, good morning. Could you put your phones on silence mode, please, during our meeting? And it's 9:30 a.m. And I'd like to call the special open meeting of Golden Rain Foundation of Laguna Woods Village. This is a special open meeting of the Board of Directors of the Golden Rain Foundation of Laguna Woods, a California nonprofit mutual benefit corporation. Today's date is Monday, August 3rd, 9:30 a.m. here at Laguna Woods Village Boardroom, and also virtual meeting is available. We are on the air, right, TV6. You can join the meeting two ways. Number one, via Zoom by clicking the link, which is on the top of the agenda, or by calling 1-669-900-6833, and ID number is written there. Or via email to meetings@vmsinc.org anytime before the meeting is scheduled to begin or during the meeting. Please use the name of the meeting in the subject line of the email, name, and unit number must be included. And this meeting may be also recorded. And the purpose of this meeting is to review the 2027 GRF business meeting, version 3. Can we approve the agenda?
I move that we approve the agenda as stated.
Okay, any second?
Second.
All right. No objection? No objections, approved. All right, good morning again. Welcome to our version 3 budget meeting of GRF. My name is Mickey Choi Ho. I'm the treasurer of GRF board, and our president, Kosh, suggests me to run this meeting because I'm dealing with the money, supposedly.
You understand money more than me.
Anyway, it's been a great pleasure and an honor to work with all the board members and also with all the staff members. It's been a long process. Ever since February, staff and each department began to work on the budget for next year. We call it the business plan, and developing at the end of the product will be called Green Book, right? We will have, after we all finish, not only for GRF but also mutuals, and it will come with the book, which show every detail of every line item of the budget for next year and business plan. So it's almost the end of the cycle, not quite yet. This is version 3 today, but again, it is not final version. They're going to approve on next board meeting, September board meeting. We are going to approve the whole complete budget, which will be the final. However, we have a month left. So this meeting is supposed to be the one that we are going to revise if necessary on this spot. Or if we have any suggestion to bring to the staff and board, and we will work on further. And I checked with the staff this morning, deadline of these changes, final changes, will be August 20th. So anybody who has a better idea that some line item or a budget should be changed, please bring to me and let me know that our board will incorporate. In the meantime, again, all our board members will have continuous communication. So last time that we had worked together with the staff was June the 30th. We went to go have a tour as a board to our facility. Most of the clubhouses and garden centers, so on. So capital line items were really closely looked at. Again, I've been thanking many times, but all the staff people, the directors of each department were really, really cooperative and went with us, board members, and looked each items. And after we came back, board members again met and bring out some of the revision, and then we suggest about $2 million, $2.1 million reduction from the capital item. However, after that, of course, each department really separately worked very hard. So it came up with almost $1.4 million cut from last version, and incorporating our board's suggestion. So this morning, the figure shows that revision, and we are very thankful. And our staff, the directors of the VMS are here. So if we have any question, and they come up and respond to our question, our suggestion, all right? So now we are going to look up all the numbers today and try to approve the version 3, right? But again, not necessarily this is the final version, all right? Thank you. Is it clear? All right. Now, number 5 item, open forum, and 3 minutes per speaker. So it's a general comment or not regarding the particular agenda item here. So I'd like to invite any speakers, please.
Robert Muchnick.
Good morning and welcome, and it's nice to see all the board. And I want to thank you for all the hard work that you folks are doing related to the budget. I know it's not easy. We're struggling with many of the same kinds of issues and questions for third board. But what I want to talk about for the next minute or so is the issue that right now you're being required to raise the assessment by approximately 20%, which is the maximum under Davis Sterling
Right.
in any 1 year. But that doesn't represent what the actual total dollar amount in all likelihood should be. It's the maximum you can raise. That other money is going to have to come from somewhere over the next year. You have 5 choices of where that money can come from. None of them are really very good choices, in my opinion. Number 1, special assessment to cover it. I think that's a bad mistake. Number 2, cut services. Number 3, find a way to raise revenue. Number 4, borrow money, right? And I forget now what number 5 is, but number 5, but you have to come up with this money out of what you have available to you. And therefore, I just suggest that you think very hard about where that money's going to come from to cover for next year before you raise dues again, assessment again for next year. And therefore, some of the other projects that are being considered at this time, I think are going to be detrimental to the financial health and well-being of GRF. That's all I want to say.
Thank you. Any other comment? Okay, no comment. Is there any response to the speaker?
What we'll be doing, as we've been discussing since probably June, July timeframe, when we've been discussing the versions of the budget, is that staff is going to be bringing forward to the board's various, as we do every year, increases in revenue. So depending upon where you want to go with revenues, we can offset some of those challenges out. Mr. Muchnick had mentioned. So as of right now, we have no anticipation of the special assessment. That is an option, but that's not an advisable option, not one that we would ever recommend. But we'll be discussing those with you here in the upcoming months. It'll start with a combination of the GRF Finance as well as CAC, maybe a couple other the committees, as we bring forward to you the revenue recommendations.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Yes, I have a comment.
Yes, comment.
Mr. Muchnick, you've been on these boards and you know what needs to be done. I think it just boils down to living within our means, working with what we have, versus trying to find other ways to increase. It's very difficult to increase revenue. We just don't have the resources to do that. But I think my comment is, I think we just have to live within our means. look at our expenses. We went out and looked at every single transaction on this budget. We spent a month or so working on it. And you just have to find ways to do it, that's all. So we're not looking to increase that much revenue or increase any assessments. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you. Yes, so we are aware of it, and then we are working on it. Any more comments from the board? Okay, since none. All right. Oh, Kush, right.
I don't know if it's the right time or later. I would like to bring one or two things to your attention, and that
Okay,
is...
Kush, if it is on the agenda, then we will, wait until then.
That's
This is
why
a
I
general
said if it's the
comment.
right time or not.
Right,
because-
okay, so let's move on.
Okay.
Since
I was-
you are pointing at the line item there. Okay, let's move on then.
I would like to say something.
Okay.
Because I think Carmen is correct.
I think Robert's correct. I think Carmen's correct. But I do think there is opportunity for cost recovery and revenue. And I think we need to get creative in that, simply because things are there are certain things within our control to live within our means, and there are certain things like utilities that are beyond our means of controlling. And that's where we have to help offset. And I think we've been doing a great job in coming up, and I know we've been been putting them into Steve and all of our in our directors. I know I have of, hey, what about this? Hey, what about that? So we will be doing some of that, trying to get more creative and trying to offset so that we don't need to increase assessments certainly more than we absolutely have to. So I don't want to take revenue generation or cost recovery, as I like to call it, off the table. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, now ready to move on to the next agenda item 7, review of 2027 GRF business plan version 3. Blake, can you please guide us through?
Absolutely. Thank you, and good morning to the board and everybody tuned in this morning. Before I start on the presentation, I would like to say we have a fairly short and concise presentation. If we can move through the slides first before we jump to questions, that is preferred.
Yes,
So-
please let us know the point, the time that it's good time for us to ask a question. Just
Will do,
move on,
absolutely.
right, okay.
Thank you. And I would like to thank Treasurer Choi Ho for her opening remarks. You hit the nail on the head as far as calendar goes and what we're here to do today, so thank you. But as you can see on your screens, this is what we've seen before. This is our budget calendar that we issue early on when we start the budget. I would like to emphasize the fact that we have had our committee reviews. And in these committee reviews, they review all items important to the budget for that current year and the operational needs by committee. So that began in February and March. Reports are compiled after that, and you guys see version 1 in June, and that is the business plan as a whole. Version 2 was distributed July 2nd, and here we are today to review version 3. We have September 1st dated for the proposed final version for adoption. So as Treasurer Choi Ho mentioned, August 20th will be the deadline for changes as a result of today's meeting. Next slide, please.
If I can jump in real quickly, if there is something that the board has already would like to see changed, if you have input that you'd like to be voted upon at this meeting, that would be appreciated. So it could wait until August 20th, like I just mentioned a moment ago. But if you have the ability to discuss them here openly in front of everybody, that'd be appreciated as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. And at this time, I would like to turn it over to Siobhan, our CEO, for her remarks.
Thank you, honorable board members. Before our team begins reviewing version 3, I just wanted to take a moment and thank you for your time, your interest, your engagement, because this takes all of us to build a budget. As we've been kind of talking all along, the business plan presented today reflects the priorities, operational needs, and strategic direction of each department. The plan provides an important context by outlining key initiatives, service level expectations, resources needed to support day-to-day operations, and alignment with the needs of the community. Treasurer Choi Ho mentioned that you took a field trip on June 30th to look at almost all of the capital projects. I want to emphasize that was your second field trip. You took one as a full board earlier in the spring as well. So you've really taken the time to get a grasp on what staff is proposing. So we appreciate that engagement, that learning process, and we've made some adjustments today that you'll see in version 3 based on your input on those field trips. And again, just want to thank you for your leadership and partnership, and I'll turn it back to Blake. Thank you.
Thank you, Siobhan. And just piggybacking off of what Siobhan had just said, I would like to take a moment to really discuss what occurs in the budget as far as the development process. As you know, at Laguna Woods, business planning is an iterative process. One of the changes we want to highlight is early engagement of committees, allowing for further and earlier discussion about items important to the committees. The budgeting process is conducted by each department head, inputting individual account line items for each of the work centers for which they have responsibility. The department head reviews trends, considers contracts, and evaluates necessary staffing to ensure service levels are met. Each department head then meets with the CEO, finance, and human resources to justify staffing levels. Beyond that, once department heads are finished with their budgets, reports are compiled. The CEO meets again with finance and each individual department head to review the budget and suggest changes or revisions that allow great service while maintaining reasonable assessments. The official version 1 of the business plan was presented at GRF's board budget workshop on June 10th. Next slide, please. Version 2, as I mentioned before, was distributed to the board for review on July 2nd, and all of this leads us to today to review version 3, which reflects no change to the monthly assessment compared to version 1. However, as Treasurer Choi Ho had mentioned, following a request from the board, staff has identified $1.4 million of planned capital expenditures that were either reduced or extended as a result of the request.
Thank you.
And this is a repeat slide from prior versions, but as there is no change between versions, I just want to spend a moment and take a look at the major changes affecting the business plan for 2027. So on the top line there, you can see your current 2026 assessment at $261.92 per man or per month. 2027 version 3 is proposed at $314.29 per man or per month. That is an annual increase of $52.37. Of that $52.37, $40 per man or per month is due to the fiber internet project. $4.88 is due to insurance increasing, mainly in hazard and liability, specifically with auto liability insurance. And then lastly, employee compensation, that increase is $3.68 cents per man or per month. These three items alone account for about 93% of the total increase from 2026. And if you remove that $40 per man or per month for fiber internet, the increase comes out to about 4.7%, consistent with recent years.
So you're not taking into account the
Kush,
cost of, one second.
Can you wait until he stops? and
Yes, if that's
invite-
okay,
On that
we'll
same-
proceed through the presentation and we'll take questions after. There's a question slide that we'll be able to address all the
All right.
questions. On this slide, you can see funded staffing trends. That dates back to 2023. So in 2023, we were budgeting for about 720 full-time equivalents. And as you can see, in 2027, we're down to about 707 full-time equivalents. So decrease over time there, and that is really to emphasize and recognize that we may not always be fully funded, so we have the budget reflect that. On this slide, this provides us a historical view of monthly assessments from 2017 through the proposed 2027 version 3 budget. As you can see there on the bottom figure on the left-hand side, 2027 version 3 is $314.29. And you can see a bar graph on the right there that reflects the increases from 2017 to 2027. And on this slide, we are summarizing the $13.1 million proposed for version 3 of the 2027 capital plan by expenditure category. The largest investment is in GRF facilities at approximately $4.9 million, followed by vehicles at $2.3 million and clubhouses at $2.1 million. Together with landscape improvements, these four categories represent almost 80% of the total capital program. The remaining funding supports paving, security, technology, recreation amenities, and other infrastructure needs throughout the community. The board directed a reduction to version 3 of the capital plan in the amount of nearly $2.1 million. At the same time, $4 million is included in this version for the replacement of Building E, which was approved by the corporate members on September 5th, 2025. The revised version 3 of the proposed capital plan now reflects planned expenditures of $13.1 million for 2027. This slide provides the project level detail for the proposed adjustments to version 3 of the capital plan. So if I can draw your attention to your screens, you will see on the third column with a header there, the initial version 3. So this is how version 3 started. The next column over is the board requested reduction, which is specific to certain programs based on the tour that was done in June. And then the next column over is staff's recommendation following those requests. And therefore, on the last column on the right is the proposed version 3 capital plan figures. So based on that review, if we'll kind of go through each category here, but still on this screen, aquatics remains at 110, although the board requested a $50,000 reduction, while clubhouse funding reduced from approximately $2.7 million to less than $2.2 million based on board requested reductions there. So in certain cases, staff recommends a different reduction than originally requested or retaining the project at its original funding level based on operational need and project priority. Next slide. This slide continues the detailed review of the proposed capital plan relating to clubhouses. Clubhouse 5 linoleum and tile floors replacement remains at $24,000. However, staff did incorporate the board's requested reduction of $58,000 to interior surface repairs, while retaining the remaining projects based on facility condition and operational need. This slide summarizes the proposed funding for technology, the equestrian center, fitness, garden centers, and golf. After reviewing the board's requested reductions, staff recommends retaining the proposed funding for the equestrian center and garden centers based on the condition and operational need of those projects. Staff recommends reducing the fitness equipment request by $16,000, bringing that category from $116,000 to $100,000. Funding for technology and golf remains unchanged, resulting in total proposed funding of approximately $966,000 across all of these categories you see on your screen. And on this slide, we have a summary of the proposed funding for GRF facilities and landscape. Following review of the board's requested reductions, staff recommends accepting $111,000 roughly in reductions, including adjustments to the community center elevator cab remodel and the Gatehouse 2 refurbishment. So staff recommends retaining the remaining facility projects at their original funding levels based on project scope, facility condition, and operational need. This brings proposed GRF facilities funding to approximately $4.9 million, while landscape remains unchanged at approximately $1.1 million. Just a couple more slides of this by category, so bear with me. This slide summarizes the proposed funding for lights and electrical projects, miscellaneous equipment and projects, paving and pavers, and security. No board requested or staff recommended reductions were identified for these categories, so the proposed version 3 funding remains unchanged. And lastly, this slide summarizes the proposed adjustments for vehicles and village greens. In response to the board's requested $971,000 reduction to vehicles, staff recommends reducing vehicle quantities and extending certain replacements, resulting in roughly $716,000 in reductions, and revised vehicle budget at approximately $2.3 million. Staff also recommends eliminating $10,000 in Village Greens food service equipment while leaving the remaining projects unchanged. Overall, the proposed version 3 capital plan is reduced by approximately $1.4 million as a result of these changes, from $14.5 million to $13.1 million. This slide presents a 5-year projection for the reserve fund based on the most recent reserve study. The ending balance is expected to decline to approximately $17.9 million in 2027 to $8.6 million in 2028, primarily due to the timing of approximately $18.4 million in planned capital expenditures. The balance is then projected to recover over the following 3 years as expenditures normalize and contributions continue, reaching approximately $21.4 million by the end of 2031. The projection assumes the reserve contribution remains at $23.50 per manor per month through 2030, increasing to $24.50 per manor per month in 2031. And this slide breaks this out a little further. This is a projection out to 30 years through the year 2056 that compares annual balances to the fully funded reserve balances. So as reserve contributions increase and balances recover, the funded percentage gradually improves, exceeding 50% beginning in 2042. And at this time, we'll pause for questions.
All right, this is a good time to discuss or ask question. Is there anybody who wants to speak? Oh, Coach was the first one, right, okay. He's been waiting.
Finally.
All right.
Okay, can we go back to that slide where you showed $40 for the internet? That was probably slide 4 or 5. Yeah. So we are not taking into consideration the $25 or whatever for DirecTV?
That's correct. So what this is highlighting is changes that are not previously included into 2026.
Right.
So $40 per month is brand new to the assessment, and therefore it is not in 2026. It is a new addition, accounting or going towards that $52.37 increase per manor per month.
Okay.
Said differently, the programming charges that were included in your 2026 assessment
Right.
are roughly $25, and now those programming charges are going away and being replaced by DirecTV effectively for the same amount.
Okay. So I have a few questions.
Yes.
So be patient. All right. So as my cohort, Mr. Muchnick mentioned, or Dr. Muchnick, I should say, mentioned that we need to think about revenues. And I have a few lines over here written in my thing. We are expected to receive some revenue from the landscape department for the antenna towers. When is that going to be added to the thing? So make a note and you can answer later. We will receive $65 from each manor for 40 plus 25 for the internet and TV. Can we consider that as revenue? And it might be just a bookkeeping issue. We might have to consider a way of recording, and that could get into the revenue section. Can we do that? Because that's $9 million per year, and that will affect the expense column because we have revenue and expense, and it will clean itself up. But it's just a bookkeeping issue. So that's another point that I make. The other is that can we increase, Madam,
Yes.
I'm talking to our CAC chair, increase the golf fees, because it's way below, and I'm talking loudly in the microphone so everybody in the village can hear. We are charging, what, $17 to $19 per round?
$17
Yeah,
per round for
it is
individuals.
kind of giving it away for free, and if people still want to play golf, they will play golf and pay a little more. So we go to the grocery store and pay more for our lettuce and tomatoes and carrots and everything, and milk and whatever. And it's going up, and we can't complain to anybody. So if they wish to complain, they can, but we need to cover our costs. So increase the cost of playing golf. That's another item, so that's increasing our revenue. And there are other landscape department income that we have that can be reviewed and added. So in short, what I'm trying to say is we will increase our revenue enough to balance our expenses that we have. We have a whole bunch of expenses, and if we keep doing this, we will be able to live a little better. And you know what else we can look at, the other revenue sources that we have been discussing the rest of the year. So please, maybe have another chance to discuss all these things and move to that. So consider these things and let me know what you think. There is more that I want to talk about in the capital section,
Right.
but right now I am going to,
Okay, pass it on to the next person.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as your suggestion, yes, we are all aware of the items, and then we are working on it. And finance department, as well as, the activity committee, we are in the conversation, and the plan has not yet come up in detail numbers. However, as soon as committees work out and bring out the numbers, then we will incorporate and work with surplus and or deficit, compensation item. So it might be, coming pretty soon. But at this point, we are starting from here. Okay, Martin.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we know that the tallest pole in the tent here is the dovetailing of the broadband into the what we paid on the outside with West Coast, bring it on into the assessment, the GRF assessment. But I'm going to also add on to Kush's comment that the money that we're taking in for TV and internet, and as well as going right back out to the vendors, that's got to be accounted for. It's not being accounted for in the paperwork that I'm seeing in front of me. That's my first concern. Also, too, what's not in the there's not a line item in the revenue that the loss of $2.5 million or $2+ million for the internet that we are collecting from West Coast. That's not on there. I think that there's some mistakes that need to be added, or there's some things that need to be added on here for accountability. And yeah, I agree with Mr. Mushnick that we've got to think about ways that we can do some element of revenue improvements. But I mean, we have to show the facts. And the facts is we lost $2.5 million in internet revenue. We need to show that from 26 to 27. We need to show that in 27 that we are collecting $9.8 million, but it's going back out. but you got to account for it. Yeah, and then I've got some other things to ask about in the capital part. But
Right.
as far as budget, yeah, it's not as bad as what we think it is, because we are dovetailing West Coast into our HOA, so we can't get frantic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, Steve has a response.
So, yeah, I don't want to interrupt the questions, but just let me, because you used the word mistakes.
Yeah.
If I can correct that and say there aren't any mistakes, it's just a presentation.
Yeah.
So in 2026, you had a large dollar amount in terms of programming costs. So, and the way we've always offset those programming costs, 26 and all the years prior, is we also had incoming revenue coming from your internet provider. So $5 million approximately in internet costs, in programming costs were offset by those revenues. So as I mentioned earlier, about 25, maybe a little bit more is what you were paying per man or per month for your cable programming costs. And now that's being replaced by your $25 payment to DirecTV. So it comes down to presentation. So there is a million different ways that we could have presented. So we set our sights on this just to make it the easiest to understand. If we dragged you through the details of all the various line items, I think things might have gotten lost. We tried to keep it at a summary level. But again, no mistakes.
Don't you think it should have been a line item?
It is in there. It's all included in the packet that you have here in front of you.
Yeah, and I don't see a line item for loss of revenue of the internet.
So,
You'll see it on page 5 of 42, on agenda
Yeah,
item 7.
Page 5 of 42.
yes, we
1
don't
through
have a
7.
slide. We don't have a slide for it, but the details of your financial statements, to his point, is included in all of this. So you could see those revenues and the expenses in the budget comparison report by account. You can see the activities of the 2023 actuals through 2025 actuals, as well as the 2026 budget and 2027 budget item numbers.
Right.
But again,
I don't
all
see
that
it.
information is presented separately.
I don't see it.
Okay. Yeah.
Broadband
Line
services.
6, right.
If we're looking at page 5 of 42 in your agenda, line 6, broadband services, you're going to
Yes.
see 2026 planned
Right.
revenue of $5.4 million. In 2027, it's only $261,000.
Okay, is that associated with tabletop boxes as well as cable TV programming?
Yes, it's, that
As
line
well,
item.
was the internet, is that the internet revenue that
All the
was in
above.
that? part of
Yes,
that?
it's all encompassed within that line item.
What we previously referred to as the broadband revenue, that is all inclusive.
Yes.
So, and to President Botta's comment earlier, in terms of the adding the $40 and the $25 in terms of revenue, once again, that revenue is already presented. That's part of your assessments now. So
Right.
we don't have it as a separate line item
Right.
as we did before, because now it's included as part of your assessments.
But it looks like we're not accounting for it.
But I can assure you we are.
We are.
And ultimately,
I want them to know that it's accounted for.
thank you. And I appreciate that comment. So yes, everything is accounted for. The intent of what you see here in front of you, the business plan by account, these are all the net number ultimately at the bottom where you see your total basic assessment. That's how much you're contributing as part of your assessments.
Right.
So that $40, that $25, that is all being included from a revenue perspective on that line item. Everything else that you see operating revenues up top, as the names imply, golf revenue, merchandise, clubhouse rentals, so on and so forth. So, but everything else that is being included is coming through as part of your assessments. Repeating myself once more, that $40 in terms of the fiber, that $25 in terms of your programming charges, those are now being collected as part of your assessments and are not being individually billed separately to residents. Meaning,
Okay, I'll rescind that word mistake.
thank you very much, I appreciate that.
Yes.
Then I'll pause, appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, if you come to the finance committee meeting, those in detailed item, if you have a question, then we can have a discussion, so on. So far, I remember those items are all being included, so, thank you. Yes, Karina, I mean, is there any board members who has more question? Just wait until, yes.
John
Yes,
had-
John?
as a, excuse me, as a newbie to this process, where do I see the discounting of the television contract we have now, which is 32, 33? How is that discounted? And the fiber network. Now, am I understanding correctly that the fiber network is just the internet, period? And then where is the DirecTV in here? I talked to a woman the other day, and she flipped when she saw there was $65. But when I went through the whole process with her, she ended up only paying $5. So this is going to scare everybody beyond belief. So how do we adjust that and work with our residents is my question. Oh, there he is. Hello, Jose.
Hello. Your finance team here is doing a good job of trying to explain these things. They showed you slide number 6 there, or page number 6 just a second ago, and that is the summary. On the following 4 pages, you have each individual lines. You can see the $2 million that Martin was talking about. There's everything's in there, but it's just so overwhelming. But I can tell you, again, I don't know if Karina, you can bring that up on page number 6 there. This is the summary, and if you're wanting to see all the jots and tittles, the following few pages on here, it's all included in the agenda that has been distributed. Beginning on page 7, you'll be able to see, for example, there's a programming fees. The programming fees will decrease in there. It's all included, and that's what Steve was trying to mention. What we paid in 26 is very similar to what we paid in 27. It's actually about a couple dollar decrease that you're getting for DirecTV. But again, what you see on your screen right now, all those individual lines, these are summaries, and just as an example for revenue, as you go to the subsequent pages, you'll be able to see, for example, here is the revenue line, and I know it's micro printed here, but there's a section that said broadband services, and you'll see each of the individual little lines, whether it be set-top boxes, whether it be the internet itself. Every line is accounted for. It's all in there. But again, if we're going to get into this level of detail, I think we're going to lose more people than we're going to gain. Other than to hear your staff say it's all in there. The programming fees are about even. What you're seeing is an increase for the fiber internet. And just as a reminder, you are no longer paying West Coast internet. So it'll be similar there.
Shouldn't there at least be $120,000 in there for revenue of high-speed internet based upon the team contract?
Yes, and it is in there. It's found under other revenue, right?
Lease revenue.
Lease revenue.
Yes, so under the section called rentals, it's the last item that says lease revenue. And it increased to $156,000 from 2026.
Page?
On the page on the screen. So in your agenda, it's going to be page 7 of 42. In the middle of the page there's a section for rentals.
Rentals. Oh.
Karina is circling it on screen if that's helpful.
Higher than that, it's under lease revenue.
Here you go.
And the $120,000 that Martin is talking about is
Rentals.
Ting pays us a rental fee to use our conduit. It is $120,000 for that. In addition, they pay a little bit to use the building, and that's why you see a higher amount there. It's all in there.
Thank you.
It's hard to find these things.
Oh,
They're in there. I promise.
yeah. Is there any more question, comment from the board? Okay, SK?
Yeah. My question to staff is this. Board members request approximately 2.5 million cut for the capital.
The
Now you-
2.1,
2.1?
Yeah.
Okay. I was not involved in, so I did not know detailed numbers. 2.1 million. You accept the $700-some thousand, $791,000. What happened to the rest of the cut? The
no,
board
it's 1.4
asked-
almost.
Yeah.
They accepted
What's
1.4
the
million.
justification?
Right.
I guess it's a difference between staff I versus board member I's. Good example, carpet on Clubhouse 5, $29,000 request,
capital.
we feel that doesn't need to be replaced at this point, but you are insisting to replace it. So those items, I'd like to hear. Thank you.
But that's in the capital section, isn't it?
Where?
That's in the capital section,
Which
isn't
we're
it?
prepared to speak to. Correct. Yeah, which we're prepared to speak to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
but
Right.
we're kind of mixing up the operating and capital, that's why I'm trying to.
Oh, no.
So it's,
Yeah.
we're not talking about overall, or?
We are, we are.
We are.
We absolutely can address any of the questions you may have today.
And also, I have lots of questions.
Please.
And
Yeah,
also-
exactly. When we
Yeah,
presented.
answer the first question.
SK,
Yeah.
when we present our board recommendation, again, we trust our staff's professional, work and their eyes, rather than, board members are not really, particularly specialized in those areas. So we suggest those items which we do not agree each other, the directors will show up in this building, meeting, during this meeting, and then they are ready to explain. So can you please, allow yourself to ask question again, and the director will come up and answer those questions, okay? So, before we do it, John, do you have any
Okay,
comments?
as a former president of the Camera Club, I see that, I believe they had $7,500 in there for the Epson 9000. I now see that's in GRF, and it has been approved. I just want to make sure that that machine, printer, goes into the Camera Club and doesn't go somewhere else.
Okay, so why don't we make a specific question to each director if you have this time? So-
I have
and then
lots
they could,
lots of questions, thousands of
Okay,
questions.
all right, so why don't you go
Thank you.
ahead?
Treasurer Choi-Ho, if we may, if there's any other questions regarding the operating side, maybe
Right.
we can take care of that
Okay.
first and
All
then
right.
jump over to capital.
Operating side, I also have a question, too.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead? Okay.
Yes.
Well, what is miscellaneous allocation? What is it? If you see that, that's a revenue side, but, okay.
What page are you on, SK?
What
Page
page you on?
442.
Okay.
It's the first time I'm sitting here, so I don't know. Maybe
4 or 5?
Line 31, cost allocation increase to $243,840. What are those? What is it? Line item 31, page 442.
In short, without getting too much into the weeds on that one, expenses are shared across work centers. So within departments, there are cost centers. And there are certain line items within the budget and things that are paid on an annual basis that is considered to be a shared expense between multiple work centers or cost centers. So it's a pure allocation of dollars across those cost centers.
Line items 32, surplus and deficit recovery. What is that?
So line item 32, that 4.16 million you see, that
No,
is to-
3.395, the 3,395,000, yeah. $22.22 PM.
Yep, line 32, so you're referencing the change, I see. So that is, the budget for that is about 4.16 million. What that does is that allows the GRF assessments to come down to that 20% limit. So because due to the fiber internet program and some others, the total cost exceeds that 20% increase over 2026, which is not allowable by Davis Sterling. So in order to make that happen, that line item is used to bring the increase down to 20%, which is a statutory limit.
So it's a decrease amount?
Correct.
3.39, okay, that's good. I still don't understand clearly what the cost allocation means.
So as part of this community, clearly you have GRF and we also have the mutuals. So some of these are shared costs. So some of them we have indirect departments such as finance, such as HR, that are paid out of GRF and pushed out to the mutuals themselves. So what you're seeing is part of line 31 that says cost allocations. So there's an increase of $243,000 or about $1.60 per man per month. That's just a change from the 2026 business plan to the 2027 proposed business plan. Again, cost allocations, it's just we have costs that are allocated that are paid by GRF and they're pushed out to the mutuals, as well as other departments within the organization.
Okay.
So it's not new. You'll see that also when you look at the mutuals'
Yes.
financial statements as well. It's carried
Okay.
in all three of them.
So actually then, due to fiber internet program, that's the operation budget surge quite a bit.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any more question?
On the
Comment.
operating side.
Okay, operating side, right. Karina?
Sue Kwon?
Sue,
Yes, thank you so much. First, I want to commend the GRF.
can you speak up, please?
Yes, I want to commend the GRF staff and board on what you're doing. This is a very hard year, and you're doing a great job in reviewing all of this. But my question is, and I was trying to get this asked in the beginning, so I'm sorry if it's not the right spot. But because we have to pay Ting for the installment and everything, doesn't that end this year? And then we don't need to fund that portion going forward next year? There was like 18 million or so that we needed to pay in the first and second year. So that rate would go down, so we wouldn't have to pay that again in the future. Is that correct?
So what you're referring to is part of the installation costs. So
Right.
overall is about $16 million. So that was budgeted in the 2025 and 2026 capital plans. So we will be wrapping up those costs by the end of the year. And once you're done with those capital expenditures, when I say capital, that is pulling the fiber through the community, adding it to all the homes. Once those expenditures are complete, that'll be it. However, there will be continuing charges to maintain the internet services to each of your homes, and that is the $40 per minute per month. So to repeat myself, that $16 million, that's done for the next foreseeable future until 30 years from now when you need to replace it.
So the 20% we should have, that should go down because we're still paying on that. Is that correct for the following year? We won't have to build that into the base.
Not that high, but we are working on that extra deficit surplus recovery, almost $4 million because of that. So next year, yeah, we need to make up more. However, I hope doesn't go up to 20%. So that's what we are planning for, right?
Okay, thank you very much. I
Uh-huh.
appreciate
Okay.
your time.
Thank you. Any more questions? Yes, Karina?
Juanita Skillman?
Oh, Juanita. Hi.
Who?
Juanita.
Juanita.
Yeah. Miss
Juanita, you're on
Skillman.
mute. You're on mute.
All right, I'm unmuted.
There you
Okay.
go.
Good
Hi.
morning.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, I'm unmuted. Good morning. All right, I have a question. I'd like a little
There's an echo.
Yes. Hello.
I'd like a little clarification, please, on broadband. Now, I understand the difference between the internet, Ting, and direct TV. And I know that we are paying the 25 now, which will go to direct TV. My question is, where in the budget does it show what we are going to continue to pay for VTV, for Channel 6, which will be a streaming, but we're still going to have costs for that. It's still going to be viable, even though it's not going to be part of DirecTV that people get. It's not going to be part of DirecTV
She's got her TV on, I think.
people get. It's not going to be part of.
Okay. Jose is here to answer.
Sure.
Right.
So the question was, hey, what happened with TV6? We still like TV6, and happy to report that TV6 is still going to be available. It is going to be available through an app. We're currently working to hopefully be able to integrate it with those Gemini boxes that we're sending out. But the point is, hey, is it in the budget? Absolutely. It's already in the budget. It runs a couple of dollars per matter per month, and that'll continue to be in there. It's found under, again, the general heading of broadband services, but know that that amount is already in there.
What is the title for that line?
Okay.
Broadband services.
No, line item,
Broadband services.
but the section is broadband services?
Yes.
General services on your screen there.
The fourth 4,500 section is broadband services. Which line is that?
Go to
4.
Pardon?
Curry is bringing up page 9 here, I believe I heard Blake say.
Page 9.
It's
So-
page 7 of 42.
Page 9 of 42.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's the section on the expense side in the actual budget comparison report is going to be cable programming.
Okay. Here.
But yeah, like I said, it is all incorporated. It's actually a pretty small dollar amount, so it's a little bit difficult to find because it
All right.
includes.
Martin.
Yeah, I was really proud of the broadband committee that we really mulled this over and really mixed it up about what the future of the broadband studios are going to be. And yeah, we're going to do our best to keep it intact. That and it's in the budget. I see that, and try to maintain some kind of element of service there. It's a great information channel that now will just be, it's instead of a channel, it's a stream, and it's call it an eloquent podcast or whatever you want to call it, but we're going to keep her going as best we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions? Karina?
Elsie?
Elsie? Hi, Elsie, you're on.
You're on mute, Elsie.
Hello? Miss Elsie? Okay.
I thought you'd like me better muted. No, my software works a lot better when I'm promoted to panelist. I can, trust me. So I'm just here watching. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other question? All right, let's move on. And any question for the capital
Yes.
part of our budget? Yes, Martin?
Yes.
We now have an energy committee. You know, it's not an ad hoc committee anymore.
Well, we haven't voted on it yet.
Oh, it has to be voted on.
It was recommended,
Tomorrow,
Okay, tomorrow's going to be a special day.
but we have hope.
Well, but it's not been done
We're
yet.
moving in the right direction.
Right, okay.
But there's nothing in the 27 budget about something in there for renewable energy. I know tomorrow we're going to be unveiling some great information out of Sacramento regarding the opportunities. And so tomorrow you got to tune in. It's going to be epic. Anyway, but there's nothing in the capital program. Is there going to be a capability for us to be able to, if we come up with something, because we know that at the end of 27, we're going to lose some fantastic rebate opportunities, if I'm correct. Have you got anything for us on that, Steve?
The short answer is I don't foresee it being entered into the 2027 business plan. However, if the committee makes a recommendation to the board accepts, then what I'm envisioning is a supplemental appropriation would be created, and you would address funding it in that means. So,
Okay, thank you. Any further question? SK, do you have any more questions on that part?
Well, is there any way we can go by line item, or?
You
We don't
can
have
do that
time
if
for
you
that, I
have
don't think.
already, the question is ready. while our staff
Yeah, the
members are here.
first question I raised, what's the difference between staff, board recommended cut versus staff cut? What's the difference? Why difference?
That's a great question. So we do have directors of the appropriate department here to describe why that is. So your first question, Director Park, was I apologize, remind me of the first question?
First question is, board request capital expended, 2.1 million.
Sure.
You, staff, respond, $790,000.
No.
No, 1.4.
1.4? Okay.
Yes.
1.4.
Your first question was Clubhouse 5 carpet. So regarding
Yeah, right.
capital and why
Well,
staff did not meet that recommendation.
That was one example.
Correct. So if I can invite Allison Giglio up.
Good morning, members of the board. Yes, all of these items that are listed in here are items that we as staff feel enhance our facilities. The carpet at Clubhouse 5 is in pretty bad shape. It's stained, it's not cleaned easily anymore. So that's one of the reasons we left it in. That being said, I don't believe anyone is going to be injured on it. It doesn't appear to be tearing up in frame, but it's gotten to the point where it just does not look attractive, and it's our job to try and keep our facilities looking attractive for our rentals. So that's why it's still in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your eye versus our eye is different.
So which carpet are we talking about?
This is Clubhouse 5.
Clubhouse
Yeah,
5,
yeah.
I gave a good
About
example.
5, but which carpet?
So
Are you
it's in
talking-
multiple locations. There's a lobby area, and then there's also by the main lounge, there's a big bar lobby area that several events use and rentals use for their events, as well as staff using for events as well.
Got it.
We board
Yes.
members went through the carpet area and feel that it was okay.
Okay, Siobhan has a comment.
We were given the opportunity to review the board's proposed lists of reduction.
Yes.
And what you see before you is staff's recommendation to keep some of the items unchanged or modify them in a different amount. That is based on our expertise and our experience with the facilities that we manage. Thank you.
Thank you. All right,
I have a different question for Allison.
Allison.
Don't go away.
I'll just stay here.
Why not? There is a linoleum thing for the kitchen, which was recommended to be changed, but on our visit, we requested that that conveyor belt be removed.
Correct.
So the linoleum that is to be replaced is in the kitchen, correct?
I will bring Manuel up to help me out with this one because that flooring was part of their deal. I know the flooring in the kitchen, it is a health department requirement to make sure that your flooring is up to
Correct.
speed, and we do have some areas that have had work done and need to be replaced. But as far as the estimates for it, I'm going to leave that to Manuel.
That's fine, but my question is, why don't we replace the linoleum after we remove the...
Oh, absolutely, yes. We're still working on getting those items that we discussed out of there.
Because
Yes.
the patch that you showed me, or somebody showed me, near the ice maker is worn out or broken, and
Correct.
definitely that needs to be replaced.
Correct.
But if we are going to replace that and then remove the conveyor, then we'll have to do it again.
No, we'll definitely
That
look
mean-
at doing that first.
Please, make that in that proper order. Thank you.
Okay, Manuel, do you have a comment on that? No, okay, all right. Okay, any further question? Either, yes, Martin, we'll come back.
Oh, not for Alice.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, okay, all right, go ahead.
Building E. Yeah, I'm gonna
What page are you
Oh,
on?
wait a minute.
talk about Building E.
Are you on
No,
page, particular page?
No, we're
Is it
not.
on here on the Capitol?
No,
No.
Yeah, it is,
The what?
actually.
It's on the Capitol.
It is, building
It
E
is?
replacement.
Right,
4
right.
Yes.
okay.
Page?
Page
There's absolutely
31.
zero analytics behind that $4 million number that got the supplemental approval. You can best believe that the board is going to be looking very hard at anything that comes in. Personally, I think that the ground underneath that building is cursed. the foundation, I don't know what we're gonna be able to build on there to be able to make it solid. It looks like crackers, though. At any rate, whatever is put up, wherever it's put up, we're only gonna put up what is needed, not what is desired. We're just gonna be looking at that very, very hard. And that's all I wanna say.
Right.
I agree with you.
Thank you.
Mickey?
Yes, right.
What
Oh,
else?
I had my hand up.
Yes, Jeannie had first.
Didi, go
right.
ahead.
Thank you. One of the larger items that we looked at was $300,000. Again, I'm on page 30 of 42. I'm under Clubhouse 1 walkway tile and grout.
Right.
We were very interested in seeing this, and during the tour, there was a lot of discussion as to what we could do, what we can't find the original tile, what can we do? But nothing was ever confirmed. So I was a little surprised, happily so, but I'd like to know why. Staff suggested a reduction of $224,000 to leave only $75,000 in the budget for whatever you're planning on doing to Clubhouse 1 walkway tile and grout, which I'd like to know what you're planning on doing to walkway tile and grout for $75,000. Morning.
Good morning, board members. Just for the record, I'm Manuel Gomez. I'm the Maintenance and Construction Director. The feedback we received from the board was that they didn't feel that all of the tile needed to be replaced. The original plan was to replace all of the tile. We indicated that matching the tile would be almost impossible. And so, based on the board feedback we received, the $75,000 that remain will allow us only to do patching, either by putting in concrete instead of tile or putting in a mismatching tile. But it will level the surface, it just won't deal with the aesthetics. So we're only going to do a patch and repair and not a full replacement. That's what we're saying, this is what we're suggesting now.
Okay.
It's interesting that I understand that you're putting it in here, but I don't know we'd have to go through CAC for aesthetics and all of that as well, I would assume.
Yes.
You're right. So, and I don't know that that option is going to be approved. It doesn't sound like that's something that we would want to do, given how mismatched that we all agree that it's going to look. Anyways,
All right.
thank you for the answer.
Thank you. All right.
I may be able to shed a little bit of light on that.
Please do.
The $300,000 to basically replace all of that walkway, we walked all of it, and it looked like there were some areas where some repairs were attempted and they were kind of not really well done. They were just done haphazardly, which shed a bad light on the whole project. But last week or 2 weeks ago at our town hall, GRF town hall, we walked outside in that same area. There was a repair that was done that looked perfect. When they did the repair on they did it the correct way. So if you just extrapolate that and do all of it the same way, then you can do it for under $75,000. And then it gives you the same aesthetic. You don't change the look. You can go over and look at it. It's right outside the main
Well, did we
door.
magically find more tile, or?
No. They magically found a way to do the grout repair properly.
But there are broken tiles.
They can still fix little things here and there, but not $300,000.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we're happy.
That's great.
So,
I'm
yeah.
We can reduce the whole cost of it.
sure
And
Thank
still
you.
look safe and good, right? That's what we need. All right, any other? Kush?
Yeah, but just to add to what Carmen just mentioned, there are companies that would fire a few tiles for us, like a few dozen, and do it for a good price because they want the business. And if that's desired, maybe I can look for them because I have people in this business who.
Or maybe you could direct staff to do that, because
Correct,
you're a very
yes.
busy man.
I will find them and I'll direct the staff to them.
Okay.
The other thing I want to move to is vehicles. And although we have a good list of vehicles over here.
We're on page
give me a
31.
second. Hmm? Page
31.
31.
31.
I'm going to go to the larger print on page 27. Jose, are you here? Yes. We need 4 boom lifts. Do we have to buy 4? Can we not work with 2? We already have a few boom lifts. So I'm going to ask you the questions, then you can respond all together.
Sure.
How about that?
Sounds good.
Okay. So boom lifts is 1. Can we do it 2? Then I'm not going to make it very difficult for you. On the following page, which is on 28, it says small pickup trucks. We need 6. Do we need to get 6? Can we do 3? And next year 3? And similarly, street sweepers. We already have some. Can we work with 1 new one instead of 2 new ones? And then lastly, the utility vehicles, you want 14. Can we work with 8 or 10? So these are my kind of questions which will reduce this huge $3 million request or $2.2 million request, which was $3 million in the past, now it is 2.2. Will it be possible? I'm not trying to put you guys in a difficult position. I understand you need the vehicles with all the stuff that I have already seen that needs repairs. So.
Perfect. So I understand the gist of your questions, and I can certainly answer them one by one. But
of course,
what's going on is we've been putting off replacing these vehicles for a very long time. And can we continue to put it off? Yes, but everything comes at an expense. So let me give you a couple of statistics. For example, on those boom lifts. So on those boom lifts, they're supposed to be kept for, in theory, right? The committee has approved that we keep them for 10 years. We've kept these particular ones for 15. Now, out of the 15 years, the first 10 years that we kept them, the total expense to repair them and to deal with them was $26,000. So for 10 years, we paid $26,000 in repairs. And we've kept them for a grand total of 15 years. And for the last 5, that has ballooned up to about $52,000. So what we spent in repair for 10 years, now we're doing that in 5. As they get older, we're having to do more. Let me give you a couple of examples. So the street sweeper, one of the ones that you talked about, this one's one of the bigger ones here. For the first 10 years that we kept that street sweeper, we spent $89,000 to repair it. We've kept it 12 years. In the final 2 years, we have spent an additional 60. So in the first 10 years, it was only costing you about $6,000 to maintain it, and in the last 2 years, it's costing you about $35,000 to repaint it. And we can go on, and the boom lifts are the exact same thing. As items age, they cost more and more and more to repair. So as your professional staff, what we're looking for is what time is the most advantageous for us to go ahead and repair it. And I'll also remind you that what we're talking about for these replacements is going to come out of reserves, right? And reserves you're already funding at a certain level. When I'm talking about repairs, that's an operating expense. Right. And that is going to be billed to you more on a per man or per month basis. So to answer your questions, can we do it? We can do anything. You can keep whatever vehicle you're currently driving. You can continue to have that on the road, but what is that going to mean? It's going to mean more expense. It's going to mean more downtime. It's going to be more repair costs. Probably have to rent replacement vehicles if in the cases of lifts. It's just not advantageous is the reason that we...
That's exactly why I'm asking you this question.
Yes.
why wait till 10 years or 15 years? I'm trying to make it stagger, so you buy one today and one a few later, and that's why you will not have this situation.
And the reason that we don't have this is because boards previously have had the same idea.
Yeah.
Let them
You
do
cut
it.
it.
Stop.
Then they don't.
We did that to the bunkers of the golf course. They wanted us to do all the bunkers in one shot. We said, no, can we do it in 3 years? So that's what we are staggering, so they are always refreshed. So that's what I'm trying to push and request. If not possible, then the board will decide whether we should do it the way you are suggesting, or you can consider what we are suggesting, and we can approve it in a way that you do some now and some later, so that you will always have a newer equipment as you go. I'm just trying to change the style and the method, because if you say, I want 14 new trucks today, and not ask for another truck for the next 15 years, you will be in the same position for the rest of your life.
Okay, I think.
Okay,
what-
just a minute. Okay,
I-
can
I'd
you
like-
respond on that?
I'd like to, from a committee standpoint, I'd like to explain to the board what happens in committee.
Okay.
All right? He came with a lot more small utility trucks than what we're seeing here.
Huh.
Okay? He gave us, and I was looking for it, I thought I had it. He gave us a huge calendar of when these trucks are supposed to time out. All right? And that's exactly what they do, is they spread them out over a series of years. All right? I think you came with 14, if I'm not mistaken, originally. We cut that back to 10, then we asked you to cut it again, and now you're down to 6. Okay?
Correct.
So we are going to reach a point of failure here of these trucks if we do not replace them. And to his point, he also showed us a service maintenance log showing a definite increase after a certain year of expenses to keep these things running. So they're out of commission, and we're paying more to have them sit there out of commission to have them fixed.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, you got to trust your committees here to know that he has done an excellent job of presenting this information to the committees, and what the committee recommended was based upon all of the information that we saw, and it was very, very detailed.
Okay, thank you. Clears up. Martin?
Jose, what were your vehicle replacement actuals for 24, 25, and 26?
So historically, we get about $1.5 billion for all the vehicles. However, as you know, for 2026, that answer was zero. So we got zero for 2026.
Okay, so you haven't bought any vehicles this year?
Correct.
And
That's why.
in 25, it was about 1.5 you spent, and
Yeah.
24 about the same?
For the
And now you're
past 9
asking for
years.
2.2?
Yeah, exactly. For about the last 9 years, what I had access to was about average 1.5, 1.5, 1.6 million in there on average for over the last 9 years. And then again, for 2026, we got zero.
Zero?
So,
Yeah,
Yes.
that's why.
We were very
We defunded,
stingy.
all right.
And you have the gall to come and ask for 2.2?
The problem is the board, new board members, I mean, without looking
Oh,
at
yeah.
all the pictures and 10 years, 15 years
Thank you.
plan, that just cut it. I totally understand staff's, frustration and well, anyway, any more question? Yes,
Yeah.
SK.
I'd like to know what is the miscellaneous operations equipment, service equipment, painting equipment, what are those budget for?
Okay, this is page 31, up
Of
from
42.
vehicles. Miscellaneous,
Yep. What are those?
31 of 42, halfway down the page, miscellaneous.
In the middle?
So these are contingency allocations for enabling staff to purchase equipment when it breaks down during the year. So the operating equipment is for our plumbing, electrical, appliance, for equipment that they may need during the year, so that they have the ability to immediately purchase it, so that it's not affecting service to the areas. The other are similar, but for different work centers. So we have one for our maintenance services, that's the painting and carpentry group work centers, and paving, same thing. So this money only gets spent if the equipment that they're using breaks during the year. So we kind of plan ahead in case we need it, and if it's not needed, it doesn't get spent, and it stays in your reserve fund.
Okay. At the same time, I have the question for all the vehicles. Is the boom lift, is it long-armed? Yes. We do have about 7 lifts. Am I correct? Yes. We do have our own, and you have a couple of rentals. That's correct. Yep. So why can't we sustain with the rentals instead of buy it and then keep paying for the maintenance?
Rental is actually really, really expensive. Not only are they about $1,500 a week, they also charge us $1,000 to deliver them and $1,000 to pick them up too. So it's really, really an expensive proposition in order to get all that.
I know you need a lifter, but since we have 7 lifters, I thought that should be enough. You are adding another 4.
Not adding.
No, replacing.
We're replacing.
Replacing, right? Okay.
I understand. I understand. Please. Forklift. Normally, industry-wise, you rent it instead of buying it.
Don't we use the boom lifts to do the,
High-rise area. Yeah.
we do a lot of moisture recover,
Dry rot.
dry rot.
Prior to paint.
We do a lot of that. I see those booms out there quite a bit in the community. It's not just lifting things on pallets up to a higher level here. We're
Right,
actually
I understand.
using them out in the community.
I understand that. And wood chippers. Do we need that, wood chippers?
Yes, that's a very, very highly
I thought
used
we
piece of
already have
equipment.
one.
Yeah, that's the one we're going to be replacing. So the current one that you're looking at is 17 years old. Their useful life is about 10 years.
Since our community is a 4 square miles area, I don't know whether that can run out that so fast. It will last a long time. You're the expert.
15 years.
I do have expertise of certain area too.
And because your experts are holding it up, that's why it's been able to last for 17 years, when the normal, typical useful life on that is 10.
Okay, I understand. Good example, where's a door, security door lock system?
Okay, while you are working, I like to call Yvonne. She had some comments.
That was one of my same questions about this stump grinder. How often do you use it? Would be, oh, well, I've got a loud mouth. Not everybody can hear me. I was going to ask the same question about the stump grinder. How often do we use it? Would it be more advantageous for us to rent it than to own it?
What stump grinder?
Same thing.
You know.
The wood chipper?
Wood chippers.
The chipper's used on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Pardon?
The chipper is used on a daily basis.
You're kidding me.
No,
I don't,
I'm not kidding.
okay, thank you. Boy, that's, yeah, well, we have a wood chipper for 190,000, and where's the other one that I highlighted? And a stump grinder for 80,000. So, do we need both?
We didn't, there's no stump grinder
I
here.
don't see a stump grinder.
Both separate.
Wood chipper is,
I know what a wood chipper is, please. I grew up on a ranch.
You may be looking at a previous version. We did get rid of a lot of the vehicles. So this is already pared down to Jeannie's point. There is no stump grinder.
Okay.
Stump grinder.
Up for replacement, sorry.
I also would like to say, because again, I am reliving all of these conversations. One of the questions that also came up in committee is, do we really need the street sweepers? Right? Even I asked that question, because that's $500,000. Okay. We have a big one and we have a small one. What was the explanation? The big one's for the streets, the small one's for the cul-de-sacs. Okay. So they are asking for us to replace
500.
both of them. My question was, could we not, I mean, you see the rental, right? I mean, service, right? Contract that out, okay? Thank you. Would you like to address that question because I know that's going around probably, why can't we just outsource this?
So the city just underwent a bidding process on this, and the price came back a lot more expensive than we could ever possibly do it, even at the cost of replacing these. So again, your existing street sweepers are currently 12 years old. So I know it's a big expense, but as you amortize that over the 12 years, it becomes a little bit more palatable, and it's not even close as far as having to rent it out and, contracting out the entire service. And I know that we like our control, right? And this gives us a little bit of a better opportunity to control where things are, if there's a spot that's needed or those kinds of things. So you're better off owning it and operating it.
Martin?
What's the cost to maintain those?
The cost to maintain these sweepers is, again, these are the ones that are going up in price. So the first 10 years, it cost us $89,000 to do that one sweeper, the big sweeper. And for the other two, it cost us 60. So
60,000.
Yeah.
60.
Yeah. Again, that's what I'm getting at. The older that we let things get, the more expensive it is to continue to maintain them. This particular machine, as you know, is going up and down every little undulation in the streets. I mean, they have to get about that far so they can actually sweep and vacuum up all the debris. So a lot goes into it.
I know most cities around us do lease. They don't.
And that's what he was saying, is
Yeah,
that they just
it's
went
very
out to release,
expensive,
so he has
right?
fresh numbers.
Yeah.
All right. SK, do you still have question?
Well, I will just,
Okay, you do homework, and if you come up with some more ideas, just let us know. In the meantime, is there any other question from the board? No question? Is there any comment from the audience or our residents?
Our members.
Yeah, members, right, members. Yes, your name and resident address, please.
John Salvador, 374A. This is general contractor, and I can say most businesses that are renting equipment are passing that cost on to the client. It's not a smart business plan. And it's much, much more economical to own your own equipment and to know that equipment inside out and to maintain it and have it at your fingertips to use. So I don't think a leasing or renting policy is a good idea at all.
Thank you, John.
Thank you so much. All right. Any other comment or question? Anything, is there any comment that the staff wants to direct us? Okay.
So, question for you, really. If the board, since we, I believe, have a full board right now, if you feel that we need to make changes now, you do not need to wait until August 20th, as Steve said previously. You can do it by vote today, if you wish.
Do you have any option?
If you wish to make a change to any part of this presentation
know
or
that.
capital
Right.
specifically, you can do it today by
Right.
vote if you wish.
I don't know if we are comfortable to do anything today. We
Right.
can talk about it in our close tomorrow.
Okay.
Just wanted to make sure I offer it.
So we do not have
We'll
any.
send it to you as soon as possible. We won't hold it up till the last second, but I am not ready to say anything today. I don't know.
Any
about the
other
rest.
options? Any question? Then, do we have to vote? I mean, adopt now and then change it? Just, we're gonna extend our discussion and let you know,
That's
right?
totally fine. I just wanted to extend the offer to the board at this moment.
Okay, good. All right. So we are going to still working on it, and just let us know as soon as possible, all right? Right? Okay. Then any further question, comment from the board? No? None? Yeah, from the board, that's what I'm asking. Any comment? I'm not going to just call everybody's name, so you are grown-ups, so if you have a comment, raise your hand.
I'm just saying,
Martin apparently has a comment.
Okay.
it's great to be back. It's great to
Yes.
see everybody. It's a good meeting. I thank the staff for the hard work that you guys
Yes.
do, really do.
Okay.
Thank you.
One comment,
Yes, good?
stay cool, it's very hot.
Okay. Any other comment from other members?
I'd still like to know whether the Epson 9000 is going to go in the photo studio, period.
Where's Allison?
How much is it?
Allison?
There is, well, I'll let Allison speak on that.
Yes, the plan is to keep it in the photo studio at this time. We were exploring other options to see if we could move it to a more centralized location, but as of right now, we think the best option is to leave it in the photo studio. It is used so everybody
So
knows.
as of right now, means it could change.
Our goal is to move forward with keeping it where it is. We have the space for it. We need to look at some operational consistencies and make sure that the ink is being paid for by the right people using it.
Okay, because right now from what I understand, we can only print 24-inch.
Yes,
do
the machine is
24-inch
failing. That
paper
is why it's in the
instead of
capital.
the 44.
Thank you.
The machine is failing. That's why we're requesting a replacement.
Any other comment? Okay, again, we are very thankful, staff and board members. We've been working very hard. All the members, you could see and feel that we are working on it, try to our best. Increase the service and yet decrease spending, all the expenses as much as we can. But this year, again, because of Think Project, and next year, we have to raise some of our assessment fee, which is inevitable, but eventually it's good for the community and for the residents. So we are doing our best. Thank you very much. If we have no further comment, yes, John?
When are we going to be voting on the budget?
In September.
In September. Thank
September
you.
board meeting, yeah. Right. All right, thank you. No further comment, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.